Next time on Antiques Roadshow, is this Italian glass vase a gift that keeps on giving?
This market has been seeing enormous jumps in it.
Sorry.
Find out next time on Antiques Roadshow from Palm Springs, California.
Tonight at 7 on Arizona PBS.
They did a pelvic exam. I was told that I had cancer cells.
I have been intentionally sterilized, and I have been lied to.
Sterilization procedures have been going on for years.
We have to crack this thing wide open.
Tonight at 9 on Arizona PBS.
Arizona PBS celebrates a moment in time. Made possible by Rock Springs Cafe. Stories come alive at the Hurd Museum as fine art, rare paintings, and one-of-a-kind sculptures gives voice to Native Americans and their culture.
Explore new ideas and new worlds here on Arizona PBS, a community service of Arizona State University.
This month in Passport on the Pbs Video App, your on-demand library for the best of PBS.
Keep using that word lie.
So you're saying you're clean?
Squeaky.
Nature is fundamentally essential to our future existence.
We need nature to survive on this planet.
I think it's the best thing I've ever done. It's true to me, and that's why I like it. It's me and nobody else.
These and other shows from your PBS station are available with Passport on the Pbs Video App. Download it today.
On Rise of the Nazis, how the Nazis took complete control
can be described only really as mafia politics
and transformed a democracy into the Third Reich under Adolf Hitler.
He'd always felt he was above the law.
Rise of the Nazis.
All new Tuesday night at 8 on Arizona PBS. Support for Arizona PBS comes from viewers like you and from
I'm Susan Linkus of the Linkus Group, a fee-based registered investment advisor specializing in financial planning, investment management, insurance strategies, and more. LinkusGroup.com, investing for life.
Heritage Reverse Mortgage now offering refinancing on existing reverse mortgages. Refinancing may impact interest rates, closing costs, and customer access to equity funds. Consultation with a Heritage Mortgage Specialist is available at 888-379-9040.
Multiple hospitals across Arizona announced new restrictions as COVID-19 cases spike.
Plus, a look at Sky Harbor's latest efforts to keep travelers safe this holiday season.
And later this half hour on Break It Down, how Black women are helping to shape politics today.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Mackenzie Allen Charmley.
And I'm Dylan McKim. Thank you for joining us.
Arizona has now surpassed 300,000 coronavirus cases. According to health officials, that's an increase of over 2,600 from yesterday, with no additional deaths. So far this month, the state is averaging over 2,000 new cases a day. As for the United States, there are now 3 million cases of COVID-19 in the month of November alone, and deaths have ticked up to the highest rate since May. The spike in cases is also leading to a concerning jump in hospitalizations related to the virus. According to the COVID Tracking Project, more than 83,000 people across the country are battling the coronavirus in a hospital, the most the country has seen since the pandemic began.
With many travelers preparing for the Thanksgiving holiday, Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport is now offering COVID-19 testing to ensure passenger safety. Sean Rice is standing by to explain the express check process. Sean?
In conjunction with the City of Phoenix Aviation Department, the Express Spa Group has announced a new COVID-19 testing facility that will open at Sky Harbor Airport. The testing site will be widely available to passengers as they start or end their air travel. The facility is located within the Drugs and More store before going through security in Terminal 4, Level 3. The COVID-19 testing options will include rapid tests and blood antibody tests. Express Spa will have 6 separate testing rooms with the ability to administer over 400 tests per day. And if someone tests positive at the site, they'll be notified and placed on a no-travel list by the Transportation Security Administration. The testing site is the first of its kind at Sky Harbor. It follows in the footsteps of testing sites at airports in Boston, Newark, and New York.
We work with a local lab, and we have leading-edge technology that allows passengers and employees here in the airport to register in a HIPAA-compliant portal where you can get your results in your file. They'll be electronically distributed at the end, and then you have a document that you can print or come to us for printing to return to work with your employer or to provide an airline, depending on the destination that you're going to.
Express Spa does accept insurance and will have Federal CARES Act funding through the end of December to supplement the cost of testing for those that do not have medical coverage. All travelers, airport employees, and members of the public can book their testing appointments in advance at expresscheck.com, or you can walk in from Thursday to Monday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. In the studio, Sean Rice, Cronkite News.
As COVID-19 case numbers rise, hospitals are changing their visitor policies. Last night, Banner Health reinstated its no visitor policy at all of its Arizona locations. Banner Health said in a press release, quote, "To create a safe and secure environment for our patients and our healthcare workers during the COVID-19 outbreak, visitors will no longer be allowed in any Banner Health location in Arizona. This mandate includes outpatient and ambulatory locations as well, such as urgent cares, surgery centers, clinics, imaging centers, and occupational health services locations. However, there are 4 explicitly stated exceptions to the restrictions. Children can bring guardians, mothers in labor may have 1 support person, people with disabilities who require assistance may designate a support person to accompany them, and end-of-life visitations will be accommodated."
Doctors are urging people whose results come back negative to still be careful and to remember the incubation period can be up to 14 days. They say when you first get exposed to the coronavirus, your levels are pretty low, and then they rapidly increase over the first 5 days.
Let's say yesterday I was exposed. If I go get tested today, I won't be positive. But in 2 or 3 days, I might turn positive and I will start being infectious and spreading it even before I have symptoms.
Also important to note, the kind of test you get can make a difference, but there are some things to consider there too.
So the antigen tests we know have real issues with false negatives. The PCR test, the line between positive and negative is kind of inconclusive. And so you heard early on in the pandemic when people would test negative and then they test positive again. And that's because their viral load might be just going above and below that line.
At the end of the day, both doctors agree testing is not perfect.
The 2019 data from the U.S. Census Bureau revealed poverty rates reaching all-time lows. However, because of the pandemic, many people in the valley lost their jobs and are struggling to pay bills. Cronkite News reporter Spencer Hardenberg explains how they can get help.
Xochitl Ayala lost her job during the pandemic.
There was the need of paying, either debating whether to pay a car note or paying my rent.
In September, the U.S. Census Bureau released its 2019 report on poverty, revealing a 10.5% rate nationally, the lowest since estimates were first released in 1959. But this year, the COVID-19 pandemic might lead to different numbers when the census releases the 2020 report.
Mortgage
Nancy Velasco from Chicanos por la Causa says they are prepared to help families in need. They just launched a program for this purpose.
It's an eviction prevention program. It's to help individuals that are affected by COVID-19 as of March 2020.
The financial help covers many areas.
It could be a house, it could be an apartment complex, a rental. And also to keep utilities on. We're helping people with APS, Southwest Gas, SRP, as well as the City of Phoenix Water.
Ayala received assistance from this program.
Helped me with rent and they helped me with electricity. They did cover a little bit over 3 months, which was a great help. Same with electricity, they gave us a credit.
According to the Arizona Commerce Authority, the unemployment rate in the state reached 6.1% in March, then 13.1% by April, and 6.7% in September. Velasco says that is why this program is important, because it is helping families who lost their jobs. In order to qualify, people need to meet some requirements.
Individuals must reside in the city of Phoenix. They had to be legal citizens or residents, have residency status. And then 3, the third and last qualifying factor is that they were impacted negatively, affected financially by the COVID-19 crisis.
The application must be filled out on the Chicanos por la Causa website. Ayala is back to work and feels grateful for all the help.
Just never hesitate to ask for help. The help's out there. It's just reaching out to people.
Spencer Hardenberg, Cronkite News.
While poverty rates have all consistently continued to fall this past decade, experts predict we may see a spike in the 2020 census due to COVID-19's effects on the economy.
It's so frustrating. Watch this.
Coming up next on Cronkite News, Cindy McCain speaks out about why she's feeling so dissatisfied over the 2020 election.
Ready to watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere, on nearly any device? It's easy with the free Pbs Video App. Simply download the Pbs Video App on your mobile or streaming device. Now you can watch the latest PBS episodes or catch up on the shows you missed. And when you support your local station, you can get PBS Passport, giving you access to more episodes, more specials, more of what you love. Ready to watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere, on nearly any device? It's easy with the free Pbs Video App. Simply download the Pbs Video App on your mobile or streaming device. Now you can watch the latest PBS episodes or catch up on the shows you missed. Discover new favorites from PBS and local content from your PBS station.
Hey, I'm Rick Steves. You know, I don't go anywhere without my passport. And now, thanks to PBS Passport, you can travel with me and watch all 10 seasons of Rick Steves Europe and all my travel specials. This exclusive streaming service is just for our members. Not only can you see all my shows, but you can see thousands of hours of your favorite public television shows. Become a member today and get your passport.
Every day I wake up, my first thought is, how can I serve this community?
The biggest hurdle was not taking PTSD personally.
Would you welcome, please, the amazing.
Everybody that watches this, they say that I am the greatest that they've ever seen.
Here at Cronkite News, we have producers who craft shows that make an impact on our community. Our broadcasts allow students to be involved in all levels of production, from producing to directing. We are guided by highly respected professionals who mentor the journalists of tomorrow. From technical directing to teleprompting and beyond, our production crew works tirelessly to produce meaningful and award-winning shows. We are Cronkite News on Arizona PBS.
As coronavirus cases continue to surge, help is on the way with 2 very promising vaccines. The team at Pfizer saying vulnerable populations could get vaccinated for COVID-19 as early as next month. Dr. Scott Gottlieb, a former commissioner of the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, says emergency use authorization would allow for vaccination of seniors in long-term care facilities first. Older adults living at home would come second. And if all goes well, Pfizer could seek approval for broader distribution next year.
I think by the second quarter of 2021, maybe into the third quarter, we'll have a vaccine that hopefully will be licensed for general use. The emergency use authorization will be for a limited population this winter.
He went on to say people might need to get a coronavirus vaccine annually, but those who have already had COVID-19 might not need it.
A grassroots group seeking to force a recall election against Governor Doug Ducey says their movement is picking up traction in the weeks following the election. According to Accountable Arizona, a nonpartisan political action committee, they've seen a 400% increase in donations and an 8-fold increase in volunteers since Election Day. The group's founder told KJZZ he relaunched the effort to recall after observing Ducey's response to the coronavirus surge in Arizona. If the group is able to gather nearly 600,000 signatures by the January 16th deadline, a recall election will be ordered and any qualified candidate will be able to run against Ducey.
With President Donald Trump still refusing to concede the election to President-elect Joe Biden, Senator John McCain's widow is speaking up about how she thinks her late husband would feel about the state of the country right now. Cindy McCain, who endorsed the former vice president and is part of his transition team, told CNN that in addition to supporting the president-elect, her husband would encourage the General Services Administration to release funds so that Biden can get on with his transition. The agency has yet to formally recognize Biden's victory, thus denying him some funds as well as access to some national security tools.
Biden has won. Biden will be our next president of the United States, and it's up to us as voters and participants in our communities to remind people of that.
McCain, who was featured in a video that aired during the Democratic National Convention, leaned heavily into Biden's character and empathy in her endorsement and said she was hoping to reach suburban women who may have been on the fence about who to support. She also appeared in an October ad for the Biden campaign, saying that Biden would always fight for the American people, just like John did.
Up next, cooler temperatures on the way. How low will they dip and when will you need to bundle up? The answer after the break.
Another Cronkite Sports Now. I'm Taylor Rocha. Let's talk sports.
For the latest on local sports and beyond, we've got you covered.
Let's do this thing.
We challenge reporters to go beyond, a game story. We want stories with depth.
It's just a crucial step from the college experience into the professional experience while you're still in school.
At Cronkite Sports Now, watch the journalists of tomorrow cover sports today.
As journalists at Cronkite News, we report on stories that matter to you by focusing on the local impact. We dig deeper and work tirelessly to keep you informed.
Live in Wickerburg.
Live in Los Angeles. In Cleveland. In Washington. In Louisville.
From Jerusalem.
Live in Philadelphia.
From around the world to right here in Phoenix.
At Cronkite News, we report the facts and stick to the truth.
Here we go. Lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
Ready to watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere, on nearly any device? It's easy with the free PBS Video App. Simply download the PBS Video App on your mobile or streaming device. Now you can watch the latest PBS episodes or catch up on the shows you missed, discover new favorites from PBS, and local content from your PBS station.
Here we go. Lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
Ready to watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere, on nearly any device? It's easy with the free PBS Video App. Simply download the PBS Video App on your mobile or streaming device. Now you can watch the latest PBS episodes or catch up on the shows you missed. And when you support your local station, you can get PBS Passport, giving you access to more episodes, more specials, more of what you love.
If you're planning to follow the CDC guidelines and host your Thanksgiving celebration outside in Arizona this week, the weather forecast is in your favor. While we're starting the week in the 80s, by Turkey Day, we'll hit a high of just 73 degrees. This comes just after a week of hitting record highs. On Monday and Tuesday, we reached a high of 92, and on Wednesday, we hit 88 degrees.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thank you for joining us.
CronkiteNews.azpbs.org.
Black women serve prominent roles in politics across the country, and they have increasing power and influence. We break down the legacy and future of some powerful voices next.
Thank you, Nadia. Thank you for breaking down the impact of Black women on the 2020 election. Now, I have to say, on Saturday, I was really emotional when I heard the news that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris had won the presidential election. I know I wasn't the only one because I talked to some of my family members, friends, and our sorority sisters. Why is this such a big deal?
Because Kamala Harris is making an historic step. She is the most powerful Black woman, South Asian American woman, daughter of immigrants that this country has ever had. She is the first woman, first multi-ethnic woman to serve as vice president. So this is an historic win. It's such a big deal. And that's why, like you mentioned, right, people all around the United States and the world, right, this is a big win for people in the Indian diaspora, people of the Black diaspora that are celebrating this with us today.
And, you know, I was happy to see that it's not just, you know, people of African or Indian descent who are celebrating. You know, a lot of people consider this a win, even though they may not belong to those communities. Now, I was a college student when Carol Moseley Braun was elected to the Senate, representing my home state of Illinois. And I know that you have written about the political significance of Black women as candidates and elected officials. Tell me more about what you find.
Well, so when Black women enter into legislative spaces, they have the opportunity to change the dialogue, to change the narrative. So oftentimes they aren't in positions to change the agenda, but they are able to, or they're not in the opportunity to set the agenda, but they can change the agenda. So an example is Senator Carol Moseley Braun that you mentioned, the first Black woman to be elected in that position.
Yes.
And in the early 90s, there was a little known kind of caveat writer onto a bill around the Confederate flag. And what Senator Moseley Braun stood up on the floor and said is that this flag represents hatred, divisiveness. And for people that come from my community, people that look like me, Black women, Black people, this flag symbolizes hatred. And many of the senators had never thought about this, right? Again, this is something that is completely unheard of or new for many people who don't share kind of the descendants of slavery and that kind of these lineages and legacies. So what Carol Moseley Braun was able to do was shift the conversation in those kind of narratives. Fast forward 2020, right? We have seen like the Mississippi State House take down the Confederate flag as part of the Mississippi state flag, and that this is something that is widely seen now, right? As our nation is undergoing this national reckoning around race, that the Confederate flag can be seen as a symbol of hate. And this started with Carol Moseley Braun.
Right, a rock star. You know, I'm glad you made that point about how, when Black women, when we show up, things just change, you know, automatically. And related to that, I think the current superstar is Stacey Abrams. Now, I am a Stacey Abrams stan. I don't know if she has a hive, but I want to be part of it if it exists. The S hive, I don't know what it would be called. But she is the current rock star because of her political organizing in the state of Georgia, which flipped from red to blue. Now, I think right now it's still too close to call, but Biden is up by a significant amount. No, I'm sorry. I think they're doing a recount now.
They're doing a recount, right?
They're doing a recount.
It's too close to call, and they're going to a recount. They're doing a hand ballot recount.
But he's still up by, it's not a few thousand votes. I think it's about 14 or 15,000 as of this taping. And so Stacey Abrams is the equivalent of Beyonce at this point, right, in the political world. So what do you think is the future of Black women in U.S. politics?
So I agree with you 100%. Not the Stacey Abrams, who is a Spelman alumna, the work and the role of Black women, particularly HBCU graduates, is paramount, right? That we as a nation are waking up to recognize the role of HBCUs as producing leaders and change makers in the society. And so Stacey Abrams is just one of few. But again, all flowers are due to her at this political moment. Stacey Abrams lost her historic bid to become the first Black woman governor of the state of Georgia in 2018 to Brian Kemp, who was then the Secretary of State, who now is the governor. And as Secretary of State, he was credibly accused of voter suppression tactics. Stacey Abrams, again, in a super G move, did not concede, right? She said this election was not held with integrity and that she recognizes that the votes are not there for her and that Brian Kemp is elected winner, but this was not a fair election.
Right.
And in 2018, she founded Fair Fight, which is an organization that works to make sure that every ballot is cast and can be fairly and equitably cast in particularly communities that see voter suppression.
Right.
So this movement that Stacey Abrams helped to ignite is a lineage of what Black women do, right? So she's taking a page out of the playbook of Fannie Lou Hamer, Septima Clark, of Ella Baker, other Black women who are using indigenous community resources, talking with people, going door to door, knocking on communities and asking them to vote. And are sharing with them, it's not a transactional reason that you should vote. Instead, it is your issues belong at the forefront of policymaking. So come, tell us why you're not voting. Tell us, what are some of the things that really make you disaffected from politics? And let's work together to change this. And let's do so in ways that are legally sanctioned.
Right. I'm hoping that, President-elect Biden creates a new cabinet position for Stacey Abrams so she can go and replicate herself in every state in the union. So if you hear, shout out President-elect Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. So, with all that being said, we have Stacey Abrams as our current superstar. I'm hoping we see more Stacey Abrams. I'm glad you mentioned the role of HBCUs. I am not an HBCU graduate. My parents are, and I benefit from the excellence of HBCUs. So before we close, what do you think is the future of Black women in U.S. politics?
So the sky is the limit. We have really showed up and showed out in this election cycle. We've done so for decades, so this is not new, right? Black women have been true to this since day one. We're now getting our flowers, right? People are recognizing that Black women have been a reliable voter for the Democratic Party and that they tip and sway elections. But what I also want to mention is that Black women need resources to continue to do this kind of work. So what I want to see in the future are political parties support Black women. I want to see voters support Black women as candidates. I want to see political institutions start to train up Black women as candidates, as leaders, and start to groom them. I think that the future is there for us. We just need the support and the resources, both from our own communities and from others.
Thank you, Nadia. Thank you for breaking down the impact of Black women in this 2020 election. Very exciting times that we are in.
Yes, thank you so much, Thor. It's always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. Bye-bye.
This hour of local news is made possible by contributions from the Friends of PBS, members of your PBS station. Thank you. If you have comments about Arizona PBS News, please contact us at one of the addresses on your screen. Thank you. Support for Arizona PBS comes from viewers like you and from
The Persian Room. Travel to another world, to a land of exotic aromas and period decor for a fine dining experience. The Persian Room in North Scottsdale on Scottsdale Road, 1 light north of Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard. Gourmet exotic cuisine at its best. Friendship Village Tempe, a retirement community for over 30 years, offers independent living with residency options, lifelong learning classes, as well as continuing care. Information at friendshipvillageaz.com.
We did a pelvic exam.
I was told that I had cancer cells.
I had been intentionally sterilized, and I had been lied to.
Sterilization procedures have been going on for years.
We have to crack this thing wide open.
Tonight at 9 on Arizona PBS.
A Supreme Court face-off, 30 years in the making.
When Bork got taken down, they promised never to forget.
It was raw politics, and it was war.
We're not giving a lifetime appointment to this president.
We're living in the era of the McConnell court now.
Tuesday night at 9 on Arizona PBS. Explore new ideas and new worlds here on Arizona PBS, a community service of Arizona State University. Arizona PBS is an equal opportunity employer. For individuals interested in information about current job openings, please visit azpbs.org/careers. Organizations requesting notification of current and future job postings can email us at azpbsjobs@asu.edu. Thank you.
Washington Week is an island of civil discourse in a chaotic media environment. On Friday nights, we gather the best reporters in the nation and have a conversation that's about informing the American people.
Washington Week.
All new, Friday night at 7 on Arizona PBS. Support for Arizona PBS comes from viewers like you and from
Ironwood Cancer and Research Centers, providing personalized treatment options through research trials, genetic testing, and counseling, focused on emotional, physical, and social support, outsmarting cancer one patient at a time.
The Palazzo, remaining safe and socially distant while open for tours, offering independent or assisted living, memory care, skilled nursing, and rehab, including activities, exercise, live music, even a pool and wine cellar. Redefining senior living, the Palazzo.
Support comes from Copenhagen, celebrating its 50th anniversary with contemporary furniture from around